Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that, let's be honest, almost everyone has to deal with at some point, and yet it always seems to trigger a minor panic attack: navigating the Tennessee driver's services system. But stick around, because by breaking this process down together, we're going to figure out how to make this a totally 100% stress-free experience.
Look, we have all been there. You walk into a driver services center hoping to just pop in and out, right? Only to realize you're stuck in a crowded waiting room for hours, staring at a screen just waiting for your number to be called. It's universally dreaded. But what if I told you there's a seamless, stress-free online solution that actually puts you in complete control of your schedule? Well, there is, and that is exactly what we're going to map out today. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering skipping the DMV line, state versus county services, gathering required documents, the e-services portal, tracking waits with the MyTN app, and finally, appointment day best practices. All right, Section 1, skip the DMV line, the benefits of booking ahead. So the days of simply showing up, grabbing a ticket, and crossing your fingers for a short wait, those are officially over. By scheduling an appointment ahead of time, you are literally guaranteeing your spot. When you book online, the system carves out a specific block of time dedicated exactly to your transaction. This means whether you're getting a first-time license or taking a road skills test, the center is actually prepared for you. If you don't make an appointment, you risk being treated as a walk-in, and honestly, that means you are at the absolute mercy of whatever the daily crowd looks like. Moving right along to Section 2, state versus county services, knowing where to go is half the battle. Before you even think about booking anything online, you have to know exactly who you need an appointment with. And this is where so many beginners make a massive mistake. See, Tennessee completely divides its vehicle and driver services. State driver services handles your physical person, meaning your driver's license, your ID, and road testing. But the county clerk, they handle your vehicle, so your vehicle registration, license plates, and titles. To put that into perspective, say you're a new resident moving to Tennessee, you actually have to make two separate stops. First, you go in person to a state full-service center for your physical driver's license, and then you have to use a completely different county-level system to register your car. You literally cannot do both at the same facility. Now, looking at your transaction options for state services, you do have physical self-service kiosks scattered across the state as an alternative to the online portal. But keep in mind, kiosks are strictly for basic replacements or renewals. Plus, they charge a 2% fee because they only take credit and debit cards. And they definitely cannot process complex transactions like commercial driver licenses or out-of-state transfers. That is exactly why mastering the online portal is your absolute best bet. All right, Section 3. Gathering your required documents, arming yourself for success. You know, you can have the absolute perfect appointment time booked, but if you show up empty-handed, yeah, you're going right back home. Preparation is everything here. The golden formula for adult first-time drivers, or if you want your credentials to meet the federal Real ID standards, is what we'll call the 1-1-2 combo. You need one proof of U.S. citizenship or legal presence, think a certified birth certificate or a valid passport. Then, one proof of a social security number, like a W-2 or your physical SSN card. And finally, two proofs of Tennessee residency. Oh, and pay close attention to this last point. If your name is changed, you've got to bring all connecting documents, literally tracing your name from birth to present. So if you've been married and divorced, you need to bring the marriage certificate and the divorce decree. I really cannot emphasize this next rule enough. No photocopies. None. They will be immediately rejected. Everything you bring must be an original document or a certified copy straight from the issuing agency. The state actually verifies these documents with the issuing sources, and any hiccups there can severely delay you getting your license. Let's look a bit closer at acceptable proofs of residency, because they are pretty strict on this. Current usually means it has to be dated within the last 4 months. A utility bill or bank statement works perfectly. But just a heads up, a blank checkbook does not count as a bank statement. Also, if you're planning to use a residential lease, it has to have all the signatures from both you and the landlord. And if it happens to be an electronic signature, you actually have to provide a typed letter on the landlord's official letterhead confirming that the lease is valid. So yeah, they really don't mess around here. Okay, Section 4, navigating the e-services portal, executing your battle plan. So we know where to go, and we have our original documents ready. It is time to execute the plan. Go ahead and grab a device with a modern web browser, make sure your internet connection is solid, and have your current ID and basic information handy before you even start. Then, type in the official web address.
dl.safety.tn.gov. Once that page loads, you're going to see a nice, clean dashboard. Now, if you just need a standard license renewal, you can actually click right through and do that entirely online. But for in-person needs, like say a road skills test, look for the button that says Schedule an Appointment. The system is going to ask for your phone number to verify your identity and send you text confirmations. From there, you just navigate the prompts to select your specific service, choose a location that's convenient for you, and pick a time slot from their calendar. It really is that easy. Now here is a massive pro tip time saver hidden right inside the e-services portal. New applicants can complete their application and literally upload their documents for pre-approval before they ever step out the front door. You just want to allow up to 5 business days for the state to review them. But doing this gives you total peace of mind knowing you have the exact right paperwork before you walk into the DMV. Just remember, even if you are pre-approved online, you still absolutely have to bring the physical originals with you.
Section 5. Track weights with the MyTN app. Your secret weapon for the DMV. If you're someone who's always on the go, the state of Tennessee actually has an official mobile app called MyTN, and it is a total secret weapon. Not only does it give you mobile access to that e-services portal we just talked about, but it also features a map with live wait time trackers for the driver services centers. This is an incredible tool to avoid accidentally booking or arriving during peak DMV hours. And even better, for certain services, the app actually lets you join a virtual queue, meaning you can lock in your place in line before you've even parked your car. It completely takes the guesswork out of planning your trip.
All right, Section 6, Appointment Day Best Practices, Arriving Ready and Aware. So the day of your appointment is finally here. There are 2 huge rules for arrival day to make sure nothing trips you up at the finish line. First, you must, and I mean must, arrive 15 minutes prior to your scheduled time. If you are late, the center reserves the right to cancel your appointment on the spot, bumping you right back into the general walk-in line. Which, let's face it, completely defeats the purpose of scheduling in the first place. Second, as state policy strictly dictates, please remember that customers are entirely prohibited from bringing firearms onto the premises of any driver services center. And when you walk through the doors, you aren't quite done yet. You should always anticipate at least some minor potential delays, even with a rock-solid appointment. To minimize them, you need to formally check in right away. You're either going to use a check-in kiosk near the entrance or scan a QR code on a posted sign. This is what actually generates your official ticket number. Keep that number handy, because you literally cannot enter the actual service line or be called up to a desk without it. Okay, almost done. Quick recap, bringing it all together. We have covered a whole lot of ground today, so let's lock in this knowledge with a really quick checklist. Start by confirming if your transaction is a state driver issue or a county vehicle issue. Gather your 112 original documents, then navigate to dl.safety.tn.gov to book your specific time slot. Take advantage of that document pre-approval feature if you can to guarantee your paperwork is correct. And finally, show up 15 minutes early to check in and grab your ticket number. And one final absolute evergreen rule to keep in mind. While the strategies and the structure of scheduling we discussed today are rock solid, state government procedures, specific fees, and online portals can and definitely do update over time. So always do yourself a huge favor and verify the latest details directly at tn.gov/safety before you head out. And that wraps up our guide. By using the e-services portal and knowing exactly how to prepare, you really never have to waste a day sitting in a DMV waiting room again. The tools are literally right at your fingertips. So what do you say? Are you ready to take control of your schedule and finally conquer the DMV? I highly encourage you to open a new tab right now and explore the portal for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy scheduling!